Treacherous demons of the imagination.
Brings back memories, doesn't it, for a lot of us? An Indiana TV legend passes away. Bob Carter, known to most of us as Sammy Terry, died over the weekend at the age of 83. Carter starred in the Nightmare Theater horror show that first aired on WTTV more than 50 years ago. And many Hoosiers, again, grew up watching him. I was one of them. And this morning, his son Mark joins us to talk more about his father's legacy. And first, I wanted to send our condolences. I know this is something that, the family was preparing for. But how are you feeling today?
We're doing really well. My mother, who was most affected, she's doing very, very well. Of course, she has so many people outpouring their support, their condolences, and their appreciation for what he had contributed to Indiana broadcasting, being one of the true pioneers. That's very, very comforting to her and my entire family.
Yeah, it's weird to hear your voice. And I still picture you in character now too. So it's weird to see you sitting here beside me. What do you think it was that made your dad so loved by? He frightened me as a little one, but man, I just have so many good memories too of like that first time that you were really scared, but you loved being afraid.
Exactly. It was at a time when horror wasn't horrible. It was more psychological, more emotional. And that's really what my dad appreciated about the horror genre, particularly at that time. Of course, the classics, like available now on DVD, are the favorites that my dad always had. And the early years when I was involved on being on the Sammy Terry show in the late 70s and through the early 80s, when you remember watching, I was Goolsby and George the Spider, and of course it was Cowboy Bob, who was up in the control booth, who was a great Sammy Terry fan, that really made it very appealing to Indiana Hoosiers, very hometown.
Yeah, did your dad realize how much that people loved him or enjoyed him, and at what part of his career, maybe afterwards, did he realize, you know what, they really wanted me, they liked me?
He did appreciate that, and of course I even experience it now going out to all of the Indiana towns doing the live Sammy Terry stage shows. The number of generations of people that come up to me and mention how it was affected their life early on and how he was part of their family. He was their Friday night babysitter, if you will. That just really endeared him to their hearts. And my dad did feel that. He expressed that so many times, that it was the love of the fans that really kept him interested and kept him going. And even 20 years later now that he's been off the television, still the outpouring is wonderful. The Sammy Terry fan page on Facebook is just blowing up with comments and good sentiments from wonderful people and good fans, and we're so appreciative of all of that.
I know a lot of people want to know too. We're going to talk a little bit about the visitation. There's going to be a public visitation, and you are still carrying on the legacy too. And are we going to see more shows and more things that are coming up with you as well?
Absolutely. About 4 years ago, my father, when he became unable to continue on with the character, he asked me if I would be interested in carrying on. And I was very honored and humbled, never expecting that he would ever ask me to do that. And of course I said yes, and since then it's just been wonderful, the people embracing the fact that Sammy continues. And it's great being out at all the live appearances, seeing people come up with their kids and their grandkids to introduce them to the horror that scared Grandma and Grandpa years ago when they were their age. And it's really exciting to kind of see that. It's a real part of Hoosier heritage that is kind of lost in many parts of the United States, but we still have here in Indiana. There is a public visitation this Friday. It's going to be held at the Singleton Mortuary, and there's more information on the SammyTerryNightmares.com website. That's the SammyTerryNightmares.com website. There's directions there as well as more information. And people are also welcome to click on a link and share their memories as well as their sentiments.
Thank you so much for sharing part of your dad with us too, and we sure do appreciate it. And again, we'll be thinking about your family.
Thank you. I certainly appreciate it.
Scott?
All right, Sammy Terry, obviously a childhood staple for so many people.